Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the Shankly Sessions, the Liverpool podcast we bring you each and every week. And this is your big match preview. Liverpool versus Arsenal coming to you this Sunday, Super Sunday, live on Sky Sports, 4:30. I'm going to bring you a good preview tonight. This is going to be a tough one for Liverpool fans, I would imagine, including myself. Just give me 1 second there. There we go. Just wanted to shut that door over. I have the mascot with me here tonight. He's in good form. Hopefully, he'll bring us a bit of luck at the weekend, but let's see what happens. This is going to be a tough one, I think. Not too sure what way this one is going to play out. Arsenal absolutely in scintillating form, top of the league, and rightly so, playing absolutely fabulous football. Liverpool, on the other hand, absolutely dire at the moment, but have a decent record at home, and especially a very good record at home at Anfield compared to Arsenal. But if you look at the take things in context, if you look at us, we're kind of like disjointed. There doesn't seem to be that much kind of team unity there and stuff like that compared to Arsenal kind of like as if we flipped roles really from where we were before. But Arsenal at the moment playing scintillating football. I think it's 6 wins now in the league in the last 6 games, scoring goals for one, beating records for the right reasons, unlike ourselves, where we're sort of creating records this season that we'd rather not. But we're going to get into this. We're going to talk about the starting lineups. We're going to talk about comments that Jamie Carragher had to say. Of course, we're going to take a look at the betting as we always do. And we're going to be looking at injury news and all that kind of stuff. And then we'll finish it out with sort of a bit of fun. We'll do like a combined 11. Let us know your thoughts on that, folks, as well. We're going to do a combined 11, which is kind of paints a very poor picture for Liverpool this season. But let's get into this. Let's take some comments first. My main man, Henry, is in there. Henry Ray Baker. Go sub to his channel. Doing great stuff over there at the moment. Make sure. Redbird is in as well. How are we, Redbird? Evening. And Henry says, hi, Redbird. Henry, if the arseholes beat us, they win the league. Have I got that right? I think you have, Redbird. I think if they beat us, I think the momentum that they have from that, similar to the momentum that they took from the win against Spurs at the new White Hart Lane, will just pump them on. I think it would be too much even for City to drag in, but they do have some tough stuff coming up. I mean, I think they have a run of 3 fixtures there where they play City, Chelsea, and then Newcastle away, and it's City, as far as I know, at the Etihad, Chelsea at the Emirates, and then Newcastle at St. James's. So that's a tough one for them, not an easy run of games. The flip side of this is what happens if they get beaten on Sunday. How do they react to that? Does it give Man City the momentum as it has in the past? No one better than Liverpool fans are in a position to talk about the tough task of either hunting City down or getting hunted down by City. Such a tough task and stuff like that. Redbird is again. I'm just praying we don't get pumped. Yeah, no, I think. Look, when Liverpool plays on Anfield, it's a Super Sunday. It's a big game. It's against the top of the league. We would expect a performance to be delivered. We would expect the players to show up, as we have this season, and at times they haven't. But when they have come up against the bigger teams, okay, if you take the Man City and the Chelsea game in kind of isolation, when we've played Man City at home, we beat them. The performances against Man United and stuff like that. So if we can get somewhere in between that or something like that, again, it'll depend on who Klopp picks. And lads, let us know what you think your starting 11s will be. I'll bring up a graphic shortly now, my thoughts on it and stuff like that. But huge ramifications for both teams in this, insofar as like we're clinging, may I add, onto a top 4, but not really. I don't think we can make it at this stage. I think Newcastle at the moment have great momentum going, and I think there's too many teams there in that blockade for us to just burst through that into 4th. But as long as mathematically there's hope, we have to cling on to some sort of semblance of a season, even though most of it's written off. For Arsenal, huge ramification, of course, as I said, keeping that gap between themselves and City is absolutely vital. So we'll see what happens. Henry is in with his starting 11. Alisson, Trent, Konate, Virgil, Robbo, Hendo, Elliott, Fabinho, Gakpo, Nunes, Salah for Sunday. Not a bad show, Henry. Not a bad show. I have an interesting thought on this. And I'll show you when I do my starting 11 what we think. Redbird, when we play, that's the problem. We never know if the players will turn up. Yeah, and that's been the whole inconsistency of the season. You don't know what Mo Salah you're going to get. You don't know what Darwin Núñez you're going to get. Look, if the team shows up and things go away and we get at it in the right sort of attitude, the right sort of everything, we can beat any team, as we've said in the past. Redbird, I want Newcastle to get top 4. They deserve it. Absolutely. But look, we'd never want that at the behest of ourselves. But I think Newcastle and Eddie Howe, they've done a fantastic job. And in truth, I think they could potentially get third. I agree, Redbird. Absolutely. They've been sensational. Warren's in. Big up, Warren. Don't forget to check out Warren tomorrow, 2:30 as far as now, the Saturday show. Always great crack and banter, puts on a great show. And a shout out, I was on a show last night with Warren. We were on Del Boy Gunner TV talking about the downfall of the FAI and John Delaney and all that, and Warren had some fantastic slides talking about sort of all the different reasons and looking at it and stuff like that. It was fantastic. I had to pop off towards the end because it overlapped with my own show, but I was really enjoying that show with the two boys last night. We were really getting into it, and time seemed to fly by when you're having fun, you know. Henry says, hi, Warren. Acers, Thiago Alcantara is massive boost for midfield battle on Sunday. Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to get talking to, Acers. You led me right into that. Hi, Acers. Hi, Henry. Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk first of all. We'll get a bit of team news first, and then we'll go into the starting 11s because that will set the picture. Obviously, for Liverpool are welcoming back Thiago Alcantara, and there's a kind of a dynamic there where Thiago will come back, and Klopp has no problem putting him back in, especially with the lack of creativity we have in the midfield. Whereas with Luis Diaz, it's softly, careful sort of approach, you know, as you have to be and stuff like that. So Luis Diaz, the gaffer said today, he's not available for the game. He expects him to come back the following week, I think, against Leeds. That's the game they're targeting. We know Stefan is out. Stefan Bietic, big loss, was in midfield there. He was really bringing the energy and making that position his own. Calvin Ramsey is out with a knee injury, and Naby Keita is out with a muscle hologram disappearance. Hasn't been around forever injury. So that's what happens there. So that's who we're missing. If you look at Arsenal are without, they're sweating over the fitness of William Saliba. He may or may not be available. So obviously Rob Holding will deputise. Eddie Nketiah is out with an ankle. Tomiyasu and El Neni both out with knees. We'll watch from the sidelines. So they're the boys that they're missing. That's the team news, basically, in terms of injuries and stuff like that, brings you up to date. Obviously, it's an interesting one for Liverpool because it was a much changed side against Chelsea midweek. Partly sending a message, apparently partly sickness. Didn't quite send the message. Either 5 or 6 of those players hitting the exit door, I would imagine, this summer. So wasn't a very clever way to go about things. But let's see what happens. So let's talk, first of all, we talk Liverpool. Acers reckons Liverpool attack will destroy Arsenal poor defence. Don't know whether Arsenal have a poor defence. I think that's a stretch if you go and you look at your stats. I have seen Sadio Mane is coming back to Anfield in some capacity soon. No. Can't see that happening. Sure. As much as we love Sadio Mane, where would we put him? You know, we brought in Luis Diaz, we brought in Darwin Núñez, we brought in Cody Gakpo, we brought in a bunch of them. Warren's in. My Arsenal team, 3-4-3, Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Tierney, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Odegaard, Partey, Saka, Martinelli, Trossard. I do like that front line. I've agreed with you on the front line, Warren. But I went with a 4-3-3. Very, very similar. But I see what you did there. You've wanted to utilise Tierney and Zinchenko, and that's a very interesting one there, Warren. I do like that now because you've got the sturdiness and the defensive qualities, and absolutely stick to his job, Tierney, and then you've got that floater Zinchenko, who nearly plays every position when in a match. So I like that. I do like that, Warren. That's a tasty one there you've put together now, that 3-4-3. Interesting. We'll have a look though. Naby injured. Well, that's a surprise. Is he injured? Good Lord. I know what's next, reaching to get the paper in the morning and doing this hernia. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, a trip over a wasp in the middle of summer walking through a field. It's unbelievable. And Redbird, Warren, that team looks scary. I'm worried for our boys. Absolutely, that team looks scary. So let's get into it. Let's get into the Liverpool team first of all. And the Liverpool team I've put together, assuming Thiago goes in there, and good Lord, he has to base on creativity. I think the problem with this team as well is I think Klopp normally for these bigger games reverts to type when available. And I think that's probably what will happen. So I think you'll get Alisson in the nets, which won't change. Van Dijk will come back in. Matip will drop. He'll partner Konate. You'll have Trent out on the right. You'll have Robbo on the left. You'll have a midfield that will be Hendo, Fabinho, and Thiago. And up front, you'll have Salah, Cody Gakpo, and Darwin Núñez. That's what I think he will go with. Lads, give me your thoughts on that one. Let me know what you think. Henry, love it, Henry. Naby is allergic to grass. Yeah, it's a pity he's not allergic to money and football. Burnley look like they're returning to the Prem next season. Great news. Absolutely, yeah, good to see them back. Love it. Warren's back in. It's because Saliba won't make it fair, and holding playing centre back terrifies me. Yeah, talk is he could make it and stuff like that, but let's see what happens. Diaz will be on the bench on Sunday. Klopp was playing mind games with media today. Do you know something? I think I thought about that today on the way home. I was listening to the press conference today, and it's like it just bugs the hell out of me at this stage. The press conferences, the post-match comments, the post-match pressers just absolutely tear me up at this stage, And I was thinking, is he playing a pep card here? Is Diaz going to even start? Maybe, you know what I mean? Who knows? Like, you know what I mean? But surely if Diaz is on the bench, you'd want to start him, switch Cody out and put Darwin up the middle or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just a weird one, that I can't understand. But let's see what happens. Good shout though, Acers. Good shout. Yeah, and Redbird, great for Burnley. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Henry, Acers, and Redbird. Good to have you all in, guys. Hi, Warren. Warren, yeah, absolutely. But let us know your thoughts on that lineup. Is this the way Klopp is going to go, lads, or do you have any ideas? Is Elliott going to come in? Does Jota come in? I mean, Jota was poor the other night. Bobby was poor the other night. I can't see them coming back in. Not that most of the players were any good the other night. Acers, Klopp has always had a poker face. I don't know, does he though? Does he? He's probably the most hesitant manager in the league to make changes. I mean, if Klopp could get away with 16 players in the season, he'd do it. You know what I mean? He doesn't like change. He likes to churn out team after team after team, the same personnel generally. And that's part of the problem. Part of the problem why these guys have ran out of gas and age so much in terms of their physicality is because they've played so much and they haven't been in a rotational side where you can give guys a rest. And look at Mo Salah. Mo Salah nearly plays every single game. Verge would play nearly every single game. Robbo and Trent normally play every single game. Ali's in there, of course, doesn't change it. Fabinho would normally play most games. Thiago's only out of the side because he got injured and he can't stand up to 38 games a season or whatever it is, Hendo, when he's fit, generally will play and stuff like that. So he doesn't really do. And some of it might be the fact that maybe he hasn't had the options that he wanted and stuff like that. That might be part of it. But I wouldn't have described Klopp as a poker face in regards to holding his cards close to his chest and who he's going to play. I think the one thing we've seen this season is Liverpool has been very predictable. Looks like Sheffield United also back in the Prem. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I wouldn't be upset with that either. I don't want to see Lucho until he's completely recovered from his injury. Yeah, that's a great shout, Redboard, and I think that's going to be the case. But I don't know. It seems I don't know if you guys have picked up on this, but has this guy been doing training now for a while? I mean, we seen the pictures there, didn't we? Prior to the international break, he was back training and doing bits. You know, it just seems he's been back out there training a long time. And we still haven't seen him. But yeah, we don't want him to go back and recur or anything, especially from the injuries coming back from. We've seen what happened when they tried to push the button down in Dubai when they were on that winter camp and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely. And one team from Luton, Rovers, Borough, and Norwich. Wouldn't mind Borough coming back up. I always liked Middlesbrough in the Prem. The front three look good, but will they get any service? Well, you would assume, Redbird, I would assume if Thiago plays, they'll certainly get service. And I think that dynamic on that side that's been lacking a lot. If you think about the way it's been working since Thiago went out, Robbo, they've nearly been bypassing the midfield and going straight from Robbo to Darwin. And at times that's when our passing and our play is broken down. But I think that sort of trio there on that side brings a bit more creativity and a bit more balance. And I think the way Thiago picks a pass and can see a pass, I think that could play nicely into Darwin and into Cody. And also give Robbo maybe that chance of overlapping runs, because I think with Thiago playing as well, sometimes he doesn't always want to play that through ball. He wants to mix it up, which means Darwin might have to drop a little bit deeper, which might open up that space more for Robbo that we spoke in the past. Similar on this side with the three boys. I think that kind of trio there that links up as well with triangle passing and the way they play in the past has been really, really good. I think if we could push Salah in a little bit more off the wing, I think what it does, it opens that space for Trent to go into that area and do his thing, while Hendo provides that little bit of cover and stuff like that. So I do like the balance to this side, but as always, I'm worried about whether all facets of the personnel will show up, and that's normally been the problem. If Liverpool score first goal, the crowd will be electric. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, if this gets iffy after 20-25 minutes, it goes very, very quiet, which is a concern. Don't forget to hit the like, peeps. Absolutely, Redboard. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And to all the channels in the chat as well, please go and support them, please, as much as you can, because they're doing sterling content creating work at the moment. Seriously, if Tierney doesn't play, he needs to target Arsenal's left-hand side, because he doesn't play with a left back. Yeah, and I could see the point you were making on that today, Warren, when we were chatting as well, about the way Zinchenko kind of has this kind of free role. I mean, there's times you see Zinchenko, he starts out kind of in a left back within the formation, and sometimes he pops up as a right winger and stuff like that, or centre midfield or whatever. It's like Zinchenko just decides, like if he's a senior player who's won it all. I'm just going to flow around and do whatever I want. It's up to you guys to pick up the pieces. But can't complain from how he's played. I mean, the results and everything else, and he's been pivotal at times in some of the games. And he's one of those guys as well that G's the team up. He won't accept anything, only winning. He hates draws and hates losing, and even giving up goals and stuff like that, he goes absolutely ballistic. So he's a right little terrier to have there in the team, and always good to have. Acer, we scored first two against Madrid. Look how that turned out. Yeah, that was just yeah. I was trying to avoid discussing that, Redbird. I didn't want to talk about that. But yeah, that was just you couldn't have two of them in a season, could you? We all know they're going to target Trent. Yeah, especially with Martinelli down that side, who has done a number on him now a number of times. And there was some class videos on Twitter today about lads talking about Trent, Mark, and Martinelli and all this kind of stuff, which was absolutely hilarious. Sometimes you wonder if the players are looking at social media at all. Geez, they must get highly offended if they see some of this stuff. But they were going hard. Millwall back in the Prem will be interesting. Imagine. Good Lord, imagine. If Trent played further forward, he would be better suited. He probably would, but I've also spoke about that as well, and I think to take away the defending that he has to do is a kind of it's a kind of like giving a spoiled child his way or something like that. And like you see how much defending and covering that Hendo has to do at times as well, with Trent playing there as well. So if you move Trent into that midfield position, and let's suppose you put Gomez in there for argument's sake, like it probably brings a little bit more balance because Joe is less inclined to go as forward. So what happens is he can kind of sit a little bit and cover, so he doesn't do a lot of that overlap and stuff. So maybe if you're going to put in a right back that's going to act really like a right back, then you might be okay moving Trent in there. But if you move Trent in there and still expect the same output from a right back or a right wing back, whatever you want to call it, then you're going to have a problem, because Trent will then still be, because of his forward play, he would still be expected to sit in when players go forward. And I just think he has a problem in terms of his concentration within sticking to the task at hand. And I think he just enjoys going forward, and that's it. And I don't think he likes defending. I don't think it's his thing. Remember, this is a kid who didn't start out as a defender. He was kind of molded into this situation, so can't forget that either, But yeah, interesting. Morris is in Cheap Heat Productions podcast. He leaves a hole on the left at times, though. Great passion. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And Henry, hi Morris. True, Henry. And Henry, you gent, happy Easter. Yeah, absolutely. Happy Easter to everyone. Hopefully this Sunday it will be a happy Easter. The only thing that's worrying me, it is Easter, lads. So, on Good Friday, he was crucified, and on Easter Sunday, he rose from the dead. Are we going to see the same thing from Jesus this Sunday? Who knows, Arsenal aren't on Madrid level. That's a solid point, and that's something that I can hold on to. More the same to you and your family, absolutely. Hope everyone is having a good Friday. Hey, sir, not to be a party pooper. That should be party Red Bull with a knee in between. We ain't on the arseholes level at the mo. Yeah, absolutely, we're not. It's Morris, enjoy your weekend. Yeah. I will, Henry. I will rise Easter Sunday to smoke spliffs in Amsterdam. Off to Amsterdam. Good Lord. Sometimes Trent can be lazy, especially if he has to track back. I just, do you know what it is? I don't think it's partly lazy, but you know what it is? I think he's just pissed off with the narrative. I think he's just fed up dealing with the crap he has to deal with, listening to this, you know what I mean? And people are just expecting him to be able to run up and down that wing all day. And when the ball breaks down in the 18-yard box for the opposition, he's just expected to be suddenly back there again and stuff like that, And you can see the way he's nonchalant in the way he jogs back, and his petulance this season as well, and his facials and his body language. He just wants to. He just wants to. He just wants to. He just wants to continually attack. He has no interest in defense, and that's just the way it is, That's the way Trent is. But that's the team I've put together. I think that's the team that brings the most balance. I would love to use Luis Diaz if we could. It's obviously too early for him and stuff like that. I'll pop up the Arsenal side here now, folks, and you can let me know what you think on this, especially Morris in the chat there and stuff like that. Let me know what you think there. But what you got is you got Ramsdale in goals, of course. You got White, Holding, Gabriel, Zinchenko. And I like what Warren came in with. That seems a real good lineup as well. Obviously, Holding won't be in there if Saliba makes it, I would imagine, or maybe he might stick with him. Maybe he might want to hold off to Saliba. There is a lot of games coming up. And then you got Xhaka, Partey, and Odegaard, who's been sensational as a midfield three. Saka, of course, who we know what we're getting there, and sensational. Martinelli on the other side, who tends to roast Trent a lot of the times. And the decision really to be made here is it Trossard or is it Jesus? For me, I went with Trossard, not because I think he's a phenomenal footballer. Always liked him at Brighton, even when he broke my heart. But I also think he has a knife for goal at Anfield, and he likes scoring against Liverpool. Now, having Jesus as an option from the bench is absolutely quality as well. Don't forget that. But let us know in the chat, guys. What are you going for? Warren's one was a real cool one where he went with a 3-4-3. And it looked really good. There was a nice balance to it as well, actually. But let us know your thoughts on it, guys. What you think. Where are we? Eno's in the comments. What's the crack, Noel? All good, Eno. Just doing a little preview here for the big game on Sunday. And Redboard in cheap heat. I'm gonna need those magic mushrooms for Sunday. We're gonna need something. Hi, Ian. Laugh out loud, Reg. Absolutely. Morris, you mean red light district and weed? Yeah. How are you, Henry? I think Jesus, because he scored 2 last week. Absolutely, Jesus. Some of us are cut out of it. Cut for it, I should say. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that could be the case. Mascot here just growling away for some reason. You need to be quiet, right? But yeah, that's a good point, Morris. Jesus, because he got 2 last week, could be the case. But Trossard against Liverpool is different gravy, isn't he? But listen, isn't it great as Liverpool or as Arsenal fans for you guys to be debating whether you start Trossard or Jesus, both of them playing brilliant football? What a brilliant position to be in from Arsenal when you go back, 18 months, 24 months. This is phenomenal. And Henry, I'm okay, thanks, Ian. Redbird. Noel, your screen is giving me nightmares. Tell me about it. Oh God, yeah. No, that's definitely the case there. And when I look at Arsenal as well, and I think about it, it's not even the front men scare you enough, but the way all the players Redbird have been chipping in with goals this season is scary. They've been coming from everywhere. Gabriel is chipped in. Ben White is starting to chip in. Partey, Saka, look at the season Shaka's having. And then the ability of Odegaard to arrive late into a situation where everything is piled into the box and then it just breaks to him. And boy, can he unload a shot and stuff like that. Is a real scary prospect. Big fan of Odegaard, and always have been. Even when a lot of our Arsenal friends and stuff like that weren't big on Odegaard, I could see where it was going and stuff like that. And his timing of being in the right place at the right time and his calmness and his control in midfield. I know when you say in terms of captain, sometimes you want your captain to be a bit more vocal, a bit more animated and stuff like that. But when you're in a title race like this and in a title run in where you need that calmness and control, even if things aren't going your way at times and stuff like that, I think he's been sensational this season. Henry's going for a 2-1 win for the Reds as it's part of the Super Six. Trossard scored a hat-trick last time he was at Anfield, I think. Warren, I've seen Trossard. I was there. I was sitting in the Cop watching us when we were playing Brighton. That was the day I checked out. Bobby Firmino had a poor day that day, jumping out of tackles. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I left the ground thinking I never want to see him play for Liverpool again. I had a bad day that day. Trossard, he's quality, man. He's quality, and he's just he just brings so much, and it's nice as well because he brings a different dynamic to Jesus as well, Whereas you see with Jesus, you see what you get, but Trossard at any moment can just come alive. Incredible. And good to hear, brother. Acers, Trossard is the only player in recent memory who has scored a hat-trick in Anfield. Yeah, absolutely. But playing holding at the back is a massive concern for me, yeah. He might be forced, I mean, obviously, ideally you'd want Saliba in there as well, but this is part of the progress, isn't it, in terms of building a squad and having a really strong bench and stuff like that. But I mean, Holding, I think he's been in there now for a couple of games. I wouldn't be too upset as to how the last few games have gone with Holding in there. Henry, Brighton haven't missed Trossard at all. No, they haven't. But they brought in a brilliant manager and they knocked it out of the park when they unearthed Evan Ferguson as well. Let's not forget that. Brighton, the amount of players that Brighton, I was only talking with Darren about it on last night's show, the amount of players that Brighton unearthed year in, year out for absolute buttons and turned them into absolute superstars is absolutely scary. But good point, Henry. But They've done some magic there at Brighton. Warren, please don't say things like that. I have a dicky heart. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Cheapy, Rob Holding has rarely let Arsenal down. Yeah, that's my point. I mean, he may not be exactly what you want as a starting, but he's there. He's in the squad, and that's what he's there for. And I think you're right. I mean, I haven't seen any major drop off in the last couple of games he's played in. Anyway, that's for sure. If anything, they're playing fantastic. Eno's in 3-2 Liverpool. I'd love that. I'd lap that up all day. Acers, if Burnley win tonight, they will be champions. Yeah, and hats off to them. I wonder how long Vincent Company will remain there, though. He's done an absolute stellar job, hasn't he, and stuff like that. So be interesting to see. No doubt he'll come up with them, but that would be fantastic for Burnley. No doubt about it. Yes, the Serbia is very good tactically. Yeah, absolutely. He's phenomenal, in the way that they're playing. I mean, to unearth players like Matoma, and to find Evan Ferguson, to keep on finding these gems, and they do it year in, year out. I mean, someone should really win. I'd love Amazon to go in and do a documentary on their scouting staff, because whatever they're doing, it's probably arguably the best in the league. Unbelievable. Has anyone found Klopp's glasses yet? I was talking about that today, Redbird. It's funny. Things have gone downhill since the glasses went and the contact lenses went in. And I was saying that listening to the presser today and to some of his post-match stuff and stuff like that, is he actually saying what the rest of us say at times? It's a definitely an interesting one. Yes, Acers, be watching the game. No, I think Mane has them still in Germany. Yeah, and then they prescribed them the wrong ones. Can you imagine? Good Lord. Acers, Liverpool badly need to sign Brighton scouts. Now you're talking. There's something I can buy into. Where are we going to go with this, lads? Give us your predictions. I had a quick look at the betting and stuff like that, so and then we'll take some we'll take some comments from Jamie Carragher. I looked at the betting today with Boyle Sports. Of course, always gamble responsibly, please, if you're going to have a bet. But Liverpool are 15-8, nearly 2-1. Can't remember the last time Liverpool were 2-1 to win at home. The draw is 13-5, just a shade off 3-1. And the away is 5-4, nearly even money for Arsenal to win at Anfield, which is mad considering the record, but not if you do the eye test and consider the form. Klopp had laser eye surgery last year. Okay, so it's not even contact related, isn't it? Wonder what laser they used, Henry. But that's Klopp's second pair. Mane broke. Acers going for Liverpool 3-1. Big shout, Acers. Big shout. I like it though. I'll take that. What did you make, guys, of these comments here from Jamie Carter? Arsenal are the team Liverpool used to be. They are young, fast, energetic, thrilling, hungry, dynamic, and on the threshold of ending a long wait for the Premier League title. Everything about them is exciting. It's hard to. I listen to Jamie saying that, and I'm thinking you can't argue with it at all. But what's killing me is the fact that if you went back 18 months ago, maybe even less, even a year ago, that was us. That was us. We were chasing down a quad. We were really pushing hard on all fronts. It was crazy, you know what I mean? And it's mad what a difference a year makes. Henry, you're killing me. Warren, Evan Ferguson is down to Del Boy. Yeah, absolutely, absolute quality, isn't he? Maybe the lines Klopp is saying need to be thicker. I don't know. Maybe it's like the whole line situation with VAR or something like that. Ace are spot on comments. Yeah, absolutely. The lasers must have blinded him. Now it makes sense. Absolutely. Maybe we get Roy Kane to give him one of those guide dogs or something like that. Give him a dig out, Warren is going with 2-1 to Liverpool, Warren. That's what you're going with, is it? Am I right? Liverpool 2, Arsenal 1. It's a big shout, Warren. You're not confident going, no? Interesting. What a way to go, Report. Absolutely. I was kind of thinking about this today, and I was thinking this is what I felt like the last time I was kind of this stunned for a prolonged period was this here, when the Undertaker dropped his streak to Brock Lesnar. And that's all I could think about today. I was looking at this going, we kind of feel like the Undertaker and Arsenal are those fans shocked at how their season has gone with Arsenal running out and winning the title. But yeah, I just thought I'd put that one in there. Mo Salah and Cody Gakpo, anytime goal. Okay, too bad. Yeah, I'm. You've sold me, Acers. You've sold me tonight. I'm shocked. I'm shocked you're so positive. Shocked you're so positive. I know it's Anfield and all that, but let's set up a GoFundMe to buy Klopp a pair of binoculars. Love it, love it. And Ian is in, just expecting a good football game. Yeah, this will be a good football game, and this will be one. I think there'll be goals in this game, no doubt. Lads, give us your combined 11. Let me know what your combined 11s will be. And all I need to know is, because obviously the majority of it, I would imagine, would be Arsenal players, unless you're blinded as a Liverpool fan. But let us know your combined 11. Just let us know the Liverpool players you think gets in to your combined 11 this season, Liverpool, Arsenal. It's Arsenal to lose, in my opinion. We are just making up the numbers. That's so true, Henry, and so damning, isn't it? Warren, yes, mate. Warren, me and you will be chatting during that game on Sunday. That's for sure. That's a big shout. I'm looking forward to that now. Acers, Arteta's comments today saying he played in August 2012, 2-0 victory at Anfield. Yeah, he did indeed. That was who was on that day? Diaby as well, wasn't it? And Cazorla, was it? Santi, I think it was. Yeah, they were the boys with the goals, were they? I think, as far as I know. I know Santi Cazorla, I think, as far as I know, definitely got one anyway. But yeah, let us know, lads. Let us know. I've done my combined 11. And what I did was I did one yesterday for the crack. And I put it out on Twitter. And it blew up on Twitter because I put in Stefan Bietic instead of Martin Odegaard, and I wanted to get the reaction, and I got the reaction that I wanted. It was absolutely hilarious. But let us know your combined 11 in the comments. This is, I'll flash up my one anyway while I'm waiting for your ones to come through. But that's what I went with. Literally, the only players I can see getting into a combined 11 at the moment are Alisson in goals, and again, that's no slight on Ramsdale at all, who's been excellent this season as well. And Salah up front. So I'm putting Salah in ahead of Jesus and ahead of Trossard. And again, there's plenty of debatable points around that. I don't see any other Liverpool player getting in there. I think Xhaka's been phenomenal. I think Partey's been phenomenal. Odegaard has been sensational. Ben White moving out at right back has been incredible. Saliba, Gabriel, doesn't even need comments. Zinchenko in there. And, you know, if you want to flip it for Tierney, if Tierney had more game time, maybe you could. There's plenty of backup there. And I think up front, I think you have to put Saka out there. I think he's been really, really good. Trossard on the other side, again, could be a flip of a coin. I'm putting Trossard in there because I like Trossard and I like the way they've brought him in and stuff like that. But you could argue and put Martinelli in there as well. But you could also argue, I suppose, if you wanted, you could maybe make a case for Darwin Núñez, but I don't think he's been as consistent as the Arsenal players. Redbird. Combined 11. All Allison's. If only. That's the one. Cazorla and Podolski. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Sorry, Acers. Yeah, absolutely. Henry goes, well, Noel. What are you thinking, Henry? What way would you change it? Who are you putting in there? Let me know. Robertson says Acers. Not a chance. Andy Robertson before Zinchenko or Tierney. Just let that sink in there, lads. Andy Robertson has had a terrible season. A really terrible season by his standards. There's no way Andy Robertson goes in there before Zinchenko or Tierney. With my combined 11, we've got a great chance of getting a result. Yeah, well, we've got a fantastic goalkeeper, and then we also have a forward who's a fantastic goalkeeper as well, who's been known to score a goal. So, yeah, let's see what happens. You're very brutal. This is reality. Henry goes, I would never do a combined 11. Yeah, no, listen, here, I didn't want to do one either. I wasn't interested in doing a combined 11. You know what I mean? It's the two that I've put in there as well. You could have a flip of a coin and change them out as well. But doesn't that combined 11 tell the tale of where we are at in terms of players and in terms of how our season has gone and stuff like that? There is no way in hell, if you roll that back 12 months, go back 12 months to when we were chasing this squad and we were in the start of April or whatever it is. Try and do a combined 11 then and tell me what it would look like. It'd probably be the flip of it, basically, you know. So, yeah, it's a tough one. Is it the Guinness talking or the stout? That's not the Guinness or the stout talking. That's a reality check for us. Looking forward to hearing the volcano after the Liverpool win. Yeah, he was supposed to be on tonight. I don't know what happened. I sent him the link and stuff like that. He said he was going to come on. He must have got caught up or something. But yeah, it should be interesting. We get a reaction out of him, there's no doubt. Warren, Allison, Robertson, White, Tierney, Matip, Gabriel, Partey, Zinchenko, Salah, Trossard, Saka. Okay, so who have we got here? Robert. Interesting. So you've got Robertson coming in. Well, you can't. I mean, you couldn't play Robertson and Tierney because they're both left backs, aren't they? So you'd have, unless you're going to shift Tierney in, but Matip, Gabriel. So you'd have Matip in before Saliba. That's an interesting one, Warren. Interesting. Partey, Zinchenko. Salah, Trossard, Saka, Zinchenko, and Partey. I get you. See what you're doing now. Yeah, see what you're doing there now. Yeah, interesting. Redbird, sad how low we've fallen. Our humour keeps us going in these dark times. Absolutely, that's why we call these therapy sessions. These are more therapy sessions even than previews or reactions. It's going to just to get us to the end of the season. As I say most weeks, well, there's another game chalked off, you know. Acers Rovers 1-0 up against Bows. Interesting. As far as I know, I think on Del Boy's channel, Del Boy Gunner TV as well. I think, is he doing a watch along to that game? I think, is it? As far as I know. So go check that out as well once we're finished here. I know all the jokes have been done now. It's on us. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we'll go out and put on a performance. Hope the boys will perform. Can continue to be performing the way that we are. My guess is I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw. That's my prediction, lads, for the game. I will be back on Sunday evening with a match reaction. It might be a little bit delayed because I think we have visitors for Easter Sunday, but I will be back later on, of course, and I'll give you my thoughts as well before the game on the lineup and stuff like that as well. Keep on checking out the shorts on the channel as well, folks. Matip Bravo, we all love a dreamer. Yeah, I think he's trying to please me. I am sailing. No, Dell isn't live. I thought he said something last night about he was going to do a watch along or something for it. Tierney going as a left-sided centre back. Yes, absolutely. Good shout, Warren. That's what I had figured out you had done. Yeah, interesting. Left-sided centre back could be interesting. All right, that's my combined 11, folks. Big game coming up this Sunday. Thanks for joining me on the preview stroke therapy session. For all you Reds, I hope we do the business on Sunday. To be honest, if we don't, I won't be too downhearted. I always want my team to win, but like I'd gladly take Arsenal winning the league over Man City. Ian's back in again. How are you, Aaron? How are you, Ian? Good to see you again, mate. We're just coming to the end of the preview. All our boats have capsized. No boat trip until next season. Yeah, absolutely. Great show. Thanks, Ian. Really, really appreciate it. Ian, thanks for jumping on as well. It was great chatting to you last night as well about Darlington. Really, really appreciated that. was good crack and stuff like that. We will be back, no doubt. You'll also catch me in the chat, no doubt. Check out Warren's show tomorrow at 2:30, bringing you all the action as it unfolds. And then the big one is coming up on Sunday. Dare I say, come on, you Reds. Cheers, folks. If you could, like on the video on the way out, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, share all the content around. Hope you're enjoying the content. And of course, absolutely, Redbird just said you'll never walk alone, but bigger than that as well. Have a very safe bank holiday weekend. We know this is always a strange time and things can happen. Have a safe Easter. Enjoy all those Easter eggs. And we will be back with you again real soon. Cheers, lads.